Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? You know what it is. It's your boy Ruben. Another video. I can't say new week, new video this time because I already hit y'all with one on Monday. That was NBA. We're going to get into some of the NFL news that's hot on the presses right now. And a couple things. I definitely had to run in here and go ahead and talk about Daniel Jones. And full disclosure, despite the New York hat, I am not a New York Giants fan. Right, blasphemy, right? Because not only am I rocking the New York hat, and I'm not a Giants fan, I'm a Cowboys fan. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But I like to think that I'm one of the most biased people you'll ever think of when it comes to this, mainly because integrity is a big thing to me, and so this has nothing to do with any particular hatred towards that team. There's my disclosure before I get into how big a mistake it was for the Giants to sign Daniel Jones. Now, my barber, also from New York, also big Giants fan. We talk about it all the time, and specifically the last time we spoke, I told him if they sign Daniel Jones, it's going to be the biggest mistake that franchise has made in quite some time, that they're going to be set back probably 5 years. It's going to be a major setback. And the reason for that is, and mind you, he's on the opposite end of the spectrum. He felt like they should sign Daniel Jones and let Saquon walk because he doesn't believe in paying, running backs and such, right? Okay. So that's his end of the spectrum. I'm of the end of the spectrum, even though to some people, they think I might have dogged Saquon, and that's not true. I think Saquon is the more valuable of the two. And I think Saquon has the kind of tool set to be the best running back in the league. He just doesn't use it the way he should. I've argued that he needs to hit holes harder and sometimes take the 3 yards that are there, that he's lost too many yards and left too many yards on the field trying to hit the home run, that I value first downs more than the explosive play. So when it comes from the running back position, I think he has the ability to not only be that kind of back that consistently move the chains, but then also add the home run element. I think he can be the best back in the league. He has that kind of skill. With that being said, here's why the Giants are in for it for the next 2 to 3 years. Daniel Jones was just signed to a 4-year, $160 million contract, $82 million of it guaranteed. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot considering Deshaun Watson getting a fully guaranteed $233 million contract, and now big-time quarterbacks are making north of $200 million. So to some of y'all, this may sound crazy. But let me tell you, quick story time. And because I've seen this happen a couple times already. And most recently, look no further than the 2017-18-ish Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars have rebounded, and maybe a little quicker than most teams would, mainly because they really tore it down to the studs once they realized their mistake. So what ended up happening in Jacksonville 2017, they make the AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles at quarterback, but we also had one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the top defense in the league. A lot of those guys were on rookie deals, to include Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles had one of his better years, right? But it wasn't his best year statistically. He was just having one of his better years in terms of efficiency, which you couple that with the fact that we had a 1,000-yard back and a great defense, it led to the AFC Championship game. I've always talked that this is a good formula for a good team. Where they drop the ball, and I've talked about this before because I'm also a Jag fan, where they drop the ball, in my opinion, is, and I'm going to preface this by saying, I'm not saying that it would have turned out differently in the end, like too differently in the end, considering the personalities we're dealing with. But what accelerated the dissension of the Jaguars was signing Blake Bortles to his contract. Why was that a problem? Because Blake Bortles was going into his 5th-year option. I personally would have made him play out the 5th-year deal because we had 3 years of subpar quarterback play, and then his 4th year was all right, right? And so I would have made him play out the 5th-year option, and then you have the franchise tag if he balls out, and you could work out a deal after that if he proves it. They gave him the deal prematurely, And then this is where it really fucked the team up. Once they gave him the deal, they refused to negotiate early with Jalen Ramsey. Once they refused to negotiate early with Jalen Ramsey, the other players saw that. Yannick Ngakoue was up for his deal. Malik Jackson at the time didn't know what was going on. Actually, I think we might have already cut him. But we had a number of players that were up for deals. They were on the defensive side of the ball, and everybody knows that we won on the defensive side of the ball. So the defenders look at that and go, okay, so you paid him and you're not going to pay me, which would have been one of those things that maybe you could have worked out it had you won. But we began to lose. Once we began to lose, it all came to a head. Jalen Ramsey got upset, and we all saw what happened. We ended up having to blow the team up. Yannick Ngakoue wouldn't even take a $19 million deal. He was out of there. We ended up having to go ahead, and mercy cut Calais Campbell because it turned into a mess, and we tore it down to the studs. And it was all because we pissed everybody off by paying the subpar talented guy, and then he did what everybody knew he was going to do. This situation is very similar. I have a lot of respect for Brian Daboll. I think he's one of the best offensive coaches in terms of how to scheme things and develop quarterbacks that we've seen in quite some time. Look at what happened with Josh Allen when he was there. And I think we can argue that Josh Allen regressed with Brian Daboll gone. Now, the problem is Daniel Jones, same situation. We had 3 subpar years and a 4th year that he didn't do good. It was just his best year, but considering where he was before that, it puts you in a situation that now you have to ask, well, if he continues on this trajectory, do we have a good quarterback on our hands? Now, my answer to that would be no. You want to know why? Because, and I'd have to look up Blake Bortles, and I don't have the time to do it, but I'm pretty sure of the most fumblingest fumblers to ever fumble the ball, Daniel Jones might be it. Case in point, 4 seasons. He's fumbled the ball 42 times. 42 times. You are guaranteed that he's just going to go oops and drop the ball for no reason 10 times a season on an average. Now, I'm not going to play too funny with the numbers. They've all come down since each year he's gotten better, right? But you gave this man 4 years, $160 million, and the real workhorse of your team, Saquon Barkley, the guy with actual talent, you franchised him. And I don't know if you guys know this, but NFL players don't like to be franchised. The reason for that is because they lack, what's the word I'm looking for? Security. It's a 1-year deal. If he gets hurt, he could lose everything, right? This is why NFL players don't like to be franchised. So you franchised the workhorse, who, mind you, running backs are sort of a depreciating asset. They have to strike while the iron's hot. If they don't get their deal early, they might not ever get their deal. You know who sees this? The rest of the players on the team. The second Daniel Jones goes out there and he does anything that's short of success, the next time he fumbles the ball, the next time he throws an interception, Saquon Barkley is going to suck his teeth and be upset. The rest of the players are going to see that, and they're going to go, they're not paying the people that really put the work in here to make this team good. They made the playoffs last year, but the reason they made the playoffs last year is because they literally reeled Daniel Jones in, and Saquon had one of his career seasons, right? And by reeling him in, they literally told Daniel Jones, you have one read, and it's about a 4-yard slant, and if it ain't there, you either dump it off to Saquon, and if that ain't there, run the ball. It was literally one read and run the ball. They made the offense so simple, stupid, anybody could have ran it, all right, if you had any kind of athleticism whatsoever. This was one of the biggest mistakes the Giants have ever made. They're going to pay for it. And we'll see how it goes. You guys let me know what you think. That's all I got for that video. The next video I'm going to drop is about the Lamar Jackson debacle and what's going on with that. And if you guys are interested in want to comment and have opinions and want some things that I want to respond to, that you want me to respond to, go ahead and comment down below, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate y'all. Giants fans, as a Cowboy fan, thank you. I specifically thanked them. I said, if you do this, it's going to set y'all back. And as a Cowboy fan, thank you. So now it's pretty much the Cowboys Eagles division. And the Eagles are about to fall in a similar situation with Jalen Hurts, but that's a whole nother video that I'm not going to bore y'all with right now. And then you got the Commanders. They got some work to do too. But again, also another video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share again. Peace.